Hey y'all, you're back with Mrs. James here, and we are going to look at activity 24 and 25 today, which is all about operations with polynomials. This is another one of my all-time favorite topics to teach. I just love polynomials and how fun they are. And so let's get started. With polynomials comes a ton of vocabulary, and I'm not going to read every single definition to you because you can read, but we'll talk about them also as we fill in the chart, okay? But if we're looking at this, so if we're looking at this first example here, we have 3x squared minus 5x. This is an example of a polynomial that has two separate terms, all right? We call a two-term polynomial a binomial. Bicycle has two wheels, therefore a polynomial with two terms, binomial, all right? The leading coefficient is always the coefficient of the first term when my polynomial is written in standard form. Now guys, just a refresher on what standard form is. Standard form of a polynomial is when the polynomial's terms are written in descending order of degree. Okay, so basically my exponents are going from greatest to least. Okay, so the leading coefficient is just the coefficient of the first term when it's written in standard form. That's simple. All right. The constant term is the number without a variable. So if I'm looking at this polynomial, I don't have a constant. And then the degree of the polynomial refers to the largest exponent. Okay, so the largest exponent of this polynomial is this exponent of 2 right there. Therefore, this polynomial has a degree of 2. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. The next one has 1, 2, 3 terms. And we call a three-term polynomial a trinomial, just like a tricycle. All right, we have a trinomial. All right, the leading coefficient here would be -2. In this case, I do have a constant. This number 6 does not have a variable, therefore it is a constant. And the largest exponent that this polynomial has is a 2. Therefore, it has a degree of 2. Okay, let's move on to the next one. How many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now guys, a 4-term polynomial, we simply just call it a polynomial. Okay, we don't have a fancy name for a 4-term or even anything above 4 terms. We don't have a fancy name. Okay, so the leading coefficient here would be 5. The constant term, the term without a variable, would be -7. And then the largest exponent is a 3, therefore this polynomial has a degree of 3. And last but not least, one more example. We have a squared minus 25. I have 2 terms, therefore this is a binomial. The leading coefficient would be an understood 1. The constant term would be -25. And the largest exponent is 2, so I have a degree of 2. All right, so this was just a refresher over the terminology and what exactly is a polynomial. So now we're going to start to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. All right, so first up, we are going to look at adding polynomials. Okay, now guys, when it comes to adding, we simply combine like terms. Okay, apples can only go with apples. Oranges can only go with oranges. Therefore, x squareds can only be combined with x squareds. X cubes can only go with x cubes. Okay, if it doesn't have a partner, if it doesn't have a like term, just bring it down. Okay, so let's look at this first example here. All right, I have 4x squared plus 9 plus 3x minus 5. Okay. Well, guys, I have 4x squared. Do I have any other x squared terms? I don't. So, guys, I'm just going to bring that down. Okay. Next, I have 9. Its like term would be -5. So, 9 plus -5 would be 4. And then, guys, I also have this positive 3x that doesn't have a partner, so I'm just going to bring it down. And the last thing that I always need to do is make sure that my polynomial is written in that standard form of descending order of exponents. Okay, so I have 4x squared plus 3x plus 4. Okay, so adding is all about combining those like terms. So let's take a look at number 2. We have 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 plus x squared minus 5x plus 2. 2x squared, I'm going to combine that with 1x squared. 2 plus 1 is 3, so I have 3x squared. Then I have 3x, and I also have negative 5x. So what is 3x plus negative 5x? So that's going to give me negative 2x. Then I have negative 1 plus 2, so positive 1. And if I notice, this final answer is already in standard form. 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. So guys, adding polynomials, simply combine those like terms. Okay? Now subtraction is very similar to adding, except there's one step we need to take first. Okay? So subtraction, we are going to add the opposite. So guys, we are going to keep the first polynomial the same. Then we are simply going to add the opposite of the second parenthesis. So that's going to become negative 3x minus 2. Then I'm going to combine like terms just like I did in example 1 and example 2. So here I have 5x plus negative 3x. 5 plus negative 3 is going to give me 2x. Negative 4 plus negative 2 is going to give me negative 6. So my final answer is 2x minus 6. Okay, so guys, we're simply changing the subtraction to addition and then changing the signs of every term in the second polynomial. All right, let's look at one more subtraction problem before we move on to multiplication. And obviously, guys, I am using different colored pens here. You do not have to do that, but I'm doing that more for our visual learners that you can see the like terms that I am combining together. All right, so we have 3x squared minus 2x plus 7 minus 2x squared plus 2x minus 7. Okay, so we are simply going to add the opposite. So every sign of this second parenthesis is going to change. So my positive became a negative became a negative, my negative became a positive. And now I'm just going to start combining those like terms. So I have 3x squared plus negative 2x squared. 1x squared, or just x squared. Negative 2x plus negative 2x. Negative 4x, 7 plus 7, it's going to give me 14. So my final answer is x squared minus 4x plus 14. Okay, let's now take a look at multiplying. So multiplying is all about the distributive property. Okay, share, and share some more is what I like to tell my students. Because guys, you are going to multiply each term in the first polynomial by each term in the second. So everything in the first polynomial is going to be shared with everything in the second. Okay, and then I'm going to combine like terms. So once again, I'm going to use two different colors so you can kind of visually see what's happening here. All right, sorry, let me adjust the camera here. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to take this 2x cubed and I'm going to share it with both terms of my second polynomial. Now guys, when I multiply, remember when we multiply like bases, the product rule, remember that exponent rule, the product rule, it tells me to add my exponents. Okay, so when we added and subtracted polynomials up here, my exponents never changed. X squared was added to an x squared and it stayed an x squared. But guys, when I'm multiplying, my exponents will change because of that product rule. So I have 2x cubed times 4x squared is going to give me 8x to the 5th. Okay, I'm going to also take that 2x cubed and I'm going to multiply it times 5. 2x cubed times 5 is going to give me 10x cubed. All right, now I'm going to take this -3, make sure you take the sign, and I'm going to multiply it by each term of that second polynomial. Well, -3 times 4x squared is going to give me -12x squared. -3 times 5 is going to give me -15. And then, guys, I'm just going to see if I have any like terms. If I do, I'm going to combine them, and I'm just going to make sure my final answer is written in standard form. And it looks like I don't have any like terms on this first example, and it is already in standard form, so I'm good to go. My final answer is 8x to the 5th plus 10x cubed minus 12x squared minus 15. Okay, so share, and share some more. Let's look at another example. We have 2x minus 7 times 5x squared minus 3x minus 4. Okay, so 2x times 5x squared is going to give me 10x cubed. 2x times -3x is going to give me -6x squared. -2x times -4 is going to give me -8x. Now let's take the -7 and let's share this term. Okay, -7 times 5x squared is going to give me -35x squared. And guys, I'm going to line that x squared term up right under the other x squared term because I'm going to combine them here in just a minute. -7 times -3x is going to give me positive 21x. And once again, I'm going to line that x term right underneath that other x term. -7 times -4 is going to give me positive 28. And then for my last step, guys, I'm just going to combine my like terms. I'm going to add them together and make sure it's in standard form. So I have 10x cubed, -6x squared plus -35x squared is going to give me -41x squared. -8x plus 21x is going to give me 13x plus 28. All right. Thanks for joining me on this one. I'll see you on the next activity.